Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Wars review. Let's crack on with them requests, shall we? The first one is from Warhawk6565 and he's asked for quite an interesting review. Something that I'd never really considered doing before, but he's given me the idea and I thought, this may work for an interesting review. He's asked if I can do this book that I talked about in one of my Star Wars room videos, and it's the action figure archive that was released in around 1999, 1998, around that time. As I probably mentioned in my Star Wars room video, this is my Bible for Star Wars collecting from the Power of the Force 2 era, because that's where it goes up to. As I said, with it being released in 1998, it covers the figures from the vintage line up until the expanded universe line and also the 1998 figures. It is an absolutely brilliant book. I'm going to it's in a bit of bad shape, so I apologise for that. I'm going to try and give it as much of a decent look as best I can. As you can see, this is the introduction. Telling you about how Steve Sansweet, the author, managed to come about the idea of this book, and then this goes on for about maybe 4 or 5 pages, and as you'll see, it's got the Power of the Force 2 figures from 1995 to 1997 along the top, and then also the vintage figures along the bottom from the 80s and the 70s, and as I said, that goes on for about 4 or 5 pages. I apologise if I can't get this in camera, but it is quite hard to review a book. This is the first book review I've ever done, so I apologise if it's not that good. After that we get on to the actual figures. It's kind of like all my Star Wars reviews in one book, so it's as I say, it's a really handy book if you're a Power of the Force 2 collector. I look out for these figures at toy fairs and whatnot, so it really helps me. I don't take it with me, I just refer to it before I go or whatever. It tells you about card variations and reference photos from the films and whatnot. It's a really, really good book. Can't stress that enough. I'll not go through every page, but as you get the idea, there's all the Power of the Force 2 figures, and then you get into the vehicles and play sets, and then you get on to the vintage line. As I say, I'm not going to go page by page, just going to give you a rough idea of what's in this book. So there's all the vintage stuff, and then you get on to, I think, all the card variations, some prototypes there, nice interesting page, and then you get onto the vintage vehicles, and then the final part is the 1998 figures. Now there's the multi-packs, also some of the 98 figures, as I said, expanded universe figures, all the other 98 figures and things like that, and then you get into miscellaneous items like the Epic Force figures, and also some of the little 98 play sets and vehicles, and then there's just the database of all the figures featured in the book. So I hope you've enjoyed having a look at the Star Wars action figure archive. Big thanks to Steve Sansweet for making this book. I don't think I'd have gotten through my Star Wars collecting without it. Highly recommended. If you can find this anywhere, then I can't stress to you enough how much I recommend it. It's a really, really great book. Hopefully this will lead me to do many more book reviews in the future. But for now, this will be the only one I do, because it's been really, really difficult to show you all the pages, you know. But I hope you've enjoyed having a decent look at it. I know I've enjoyed going into a lot of detail about this book, and hopefully sometime soon I'll give you a look at a lot more of the figures that are in it. So until then, keep collecting, and may the force be with you.